lyrics. Anyway, I did hit the button, Patrick. So
It says you're live. I don't see you live yet on the phone, but
ooh,
a couple of seconds in, we'll see what the delay looks like today.
we have time to nick, chit chat, knick knack,
Chit-chat.
patty whack.
Absolutely.
Give your dog a bone. You don't have
Right.
a dog, do you? Do you have a dog?
I do. I no longer have a dog. I had a dog when I was married. Lost him in the divorce.
Wow.
Willingly. It was her dog. I had no interest in it.
You had no interest in it.
That was just one more thing I had to take care of. Like, nope, we're good. You take it.
I love that.
All right.
Ooh.
I've got your commercials coming up, so I think we've activated.
Oh, I'm blinking. It's a special show.
Wonder Twin powers activate.
That's not lightning, everybody. I don't know what's causing that. So we'll see. Greetings, everyone. Okay. Welcome. Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Monday night, 8 o'clock here on the East, in the East.
7 o'clock in the Midwest.
7 o'clock in the Midwest. This is the last of the month. Well, it's always the 4th of the month anyway. Right? The Unbreakables live sale. I'm Scott from the Old Curiosity Shop, and that is
Patrick from Trusty Huckster Mercantile. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you, everyone. And as usual, we do a little bit of blah, blah, blah for the first 5-10 minutes or so. And
let people find us.
Why don't you do the, I need to write some stuff down. You do all the blah, blah.
I could do the blah, blah, blah. All right. Well, everyone be bored with me for a little bit. Again, thanks for joining the Unbreakable sale. If if this is your first time, welcome. I don't know what brought you today, but glad to have you. For the way most of the formats work, pretty much the same across multiple channels. We will be showing you items. They will be offer up / auction format. As you see an item, there will be an opening bid. Follow along in the chat. Make sure you are in live chat, not top chat, so you can actually monitor to see what's going on. We will count down. The highest bidder at the very end will be the winner. Scott ships from New Jersey, out near Philadelphia. I ship from outside Chicago, so we will not be able to combine for shipping. But once you claim an item, make sure you send an email to my email address if you buy from me, or we will make sure Scott's email goes into the chat. If you buy from him, we will send you invoices. Once you pay the invoice, we will ship your item. Scott is always much better at this than I am. Scott will probably get invoices out tomorrow, maybe Wednesday, probably tomorrow. I will try and get them out by Wednesday night. This is a side hustle for me. I do have a day job, so I do try and do this in the evening, but I will try and get invoices out within a couple of days. And I think that's the crash course. I don't think we need to bore everybody.
No, I think they've got it. And so, as usual, it is so nice to have you here. And we always have sort of the family in the chat, but we've got the family at home. And I never, ever, ever want to forget, because we might only have 50 people chatting, but there might be a couple hundred joining us tonight. And for whatever reason why, it's, probably his handsome face you're looking at, not mine. We're glad you're here. We all like old stuff. And I think that's the reason why. Isn't that the reason why? Because we like old stuff.
We like old stuff. And I think what I've started watching Scott before I even started reselling, because Scott understands old stuff and tries to make sure we understand it too. And I try and do the same thing. We like to do some research. We were actually researching something he's going to be selling tonight, right before we went on, just to make sure we get the right information out there. So, hey, even if you're not buying, we appreciate you being here and participate in the chat if you want. Have us on in the background while you're folding clothes. We don't care. We are happy to have the group.
And I love learning about this. I have a thirst for wanting to know when it was made and who made it. And I love it when other folks know more than I do and can teach me. So I'm always ready for somebody to take me to school if they know what they're talking about. Now, if you just found it on Pinterest, I don't want to, but you know what? We've talked about this before. When you think you have figured out what it is, your research has just begun. Isn't that right, Patrick?
Absolutely. Because if it's not, just because it's on the internet does not make it true, and just because it's on the internet twice does not make it true, because so many people just repeat something they saw someplace else. And I just recently, I know, Scott, you don't do social media, but I saw a post recently on Instagram, and it was kind of a formal write-up explaining the history of Pyrex. I am not a Pyrex expert. I don't really deal with it all that much, but I'm a child of the 70s. I'm certainly well aware of Pyrex. Even reading it, I'm going, that doesn't sound right. And the purpose of the post was to say, this is wrong. It was a Pyrex expert who was then explaining, saying this is being posted in a prominent location by prominent people. It is chock full of misinformation. But because people think that person knew what they were doing, they're going to start spitting that out, and it's going to take time to fix that.
Once it's out there, it's out there.
Cut and paste, absolutely. Oh, yes, Elizabeth's folding her laundry.
Yeah, she's folding laundry?
Yes.
Laundry?
I struggle with the multitasking when it comes to the live sales. So unfortunately, I don't get to see as many live sales as I used to. Life gets in the way. So we do truly appreciate those of you who take the time to join us, even if you don't buy anything. So again, that's not what this is about. Well, it's a little bit about what it's about. Got to pay my mortgage, but you know.
Yeah, it is a little bit about what it's about, but that's not the end all be all for us. I think that's one of the things about I don't know. You're the same way, Patrick. We don't just buy and sell anything. Otherwise, I'd be buying and selling farm equipment and used toilets and medical supply.
And there's nothing wrong with people who do that. I've learned from all of those types of people. But if I find a really good deal on a pallet full of diapers, it's going to sit there for someone else to deal with because I ain't selling diapers. Nothing wrong with making money, but I'm not making it that way.
Absolutely not. I'm glad you bring that up. That's a good point to be made. And I'm not sure now why I even brought that up, but I think it's fun to get excited about what you're selling, to be excited about what you have, so that it's not just, I can. And that's why I'll see things in the store.
It's a money maker.
This is great.
I can make money on that.
Somebody's going to make money on that. It doesn't have to be me.
I want to, and this sounds like lip service, but I want to rehome something and put it in the right people's hands. That's one of the reasons I started reselling. There was a financial aspect of it, right before the pandemic, things were happening and I was going through a divorce. So I'm like, maybe I need an extra income stream. But part of it was I'm a collector. I'm surrounded by stuff that I love. I can't collect everything. And so I got to this idea where I'd see things. I'm like, if I don't buy this, it's going to get destroyed. It's going to get thrown away. It's going to get chipped or broken. And I don't like I don't like things get damaged.
Nope.
Now I'd like to be able to find it. And then even if I only have it for a short period of time, maybe I'll make a little bit of money, but it goes into somebody else's hands who will enjoy it, put it in their collection, use it, use your vintage. It should not just go on display. Use your vintage. That's live with it. And people will appreciate different things. And, always a mix, always fun.
I couldn't live with it, use it, break it. Ask anybody who has ever been a guest at my house. Oh, I bet he's fussy about stuff. I am not. Sit on the chair, drink it. Now, you will put a coaster down on my mahogany table. But other than that, this isn't a museum, and I love it when people use their things. And museums are nice too, but you don't have little gold rope across any piece of furniture at my house.
Absolutely. But I was very happy. I had the rare, wonderful opportunity of being at Scott's place last month for the sale.
Yes, you were here.
I was very happy that every time I went to put my drink down, there was a coaster. It's just that's the way it needs to be. So people that followed my channel when I first started, I became this coaster guy.
You were.
Never realized that was something special, but a lot of people don't use coasters. And I was raised in a family with Formica and veneered furniture, crap, but we still used coasters. I got to make it last. So I always use a coaster. I am currently using my porcelain coasters. I've got a church, Cologne Church, Cologne, Germany.
It looked like a nice big cathedral.
Yeah.
I'm drinking Wawa iced tea out of a cocktail shaker.
You've got an industrial drink there. You're warming back up in New Jersey.
That's a cocktail shaker. I took the chrome off. It is filled with ice. I don't want to have to, because I'm all tangled up with cords and whatnot.
I'm actually going to remember that the next time I want a big drink. Empty out the cocktail shaker.
Big old Hazel Alice cocktail shaker. Okay.
All right, we're 10 minutes in. Think we're ready to roll?
Yep. I'm going to make you big and I'm going to be quiet.
All right, sir. Well, I'm starting out. If you follow me on, I am on social media. So if you follow me on social media, I did do a preview of some of the things I'll be showing. This one is probably one of my favorites. It's the haunted tissue dispenser.
I love that thing.
Or, she's going to give you the side eye. She's watching you. She watches you folding your laundry and doing your cross stitch. It is exactly what it looks like, a doll head tissue dispenser. So it holds the square size box, and this is a starting price of $20. So it holds the square size, not the rectangular size. There's no markings or labels or anything on this, but based on her bouffant style hairdo with the little ribbon and that kind of makeup and these little bolts in the side of her neck that are supposed to be daisies, I would say that this is kind of a 60s, maybe getting into 70s, which I think that would be about the time something as creepy as this would show up in somebody's home. So this is $20 start. Are you gonna be able to do that, Scott, or do you want me to put it in?
I can do it. I can do it.
Thank you, sir. So $20 start on this, and it is as simple as it is. It is. I will not ship it with the Kleenex inside or the facial tissues inside. She just holds a lot of them in there. It is completely flexible except for her face. So her face, I said it's a doll head, but you can kind of see the way it's attached. It's like almost like one of the creepy Halloween masks you'd have when you were a kid in the 70s. So it's the form of a doll head, but it's really just the face. So they've attached it to the mass of hair. And, she could probably do with a little bit, I don't know, either a smoothing or I don't know, maybe this is the hairstyle you're supposed to rat it out. I'm not a specialist in ratting. So you get her the way she is. She can just disturb your friends, just set her on the top of your couch or set her in your window so people walking by see her staring out the window. But this is the first item I'm offering. I don't see any interest in her right now. So at this point, I guess I'll count her down in case there's snipers trying to get in at the last minute. But it is a $20 start. So I'll 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And if I don't see anybody, she will just have to go into my antique shop because I'm not keeping this in my house.
I did go ahead and put the stop in there, and then so I don't see anything either. But we are going to, of course, we have people who come in during the second hour.
Yeah, we'll let her lurk here on the side. If somebody wants her later, we can talk about her later. Yeah, back to you, Scott.
Okay, let's do splat. I don't know what splat means. I have to push all the buttons. I've got for you, and I guess I'll enter this because I don't. Let me put my price in.
Well, I can enter it for you. Just tell me.
$15.
Okay.
We have a set of helmet.
Nicole?
Yeah. The former Prime Minister of Germany. Helmut Kohl. No. Helmet. And I asked Patrick his opinion, and he set me straight that we both agree on conquistador rather than Greek and Roman. I didn't know, but let's go. And I said, why not the Spanish Inquisition? They are made of spelter, no damage, no splits, no breaks. I would date these between the 1930s to the 60s. Very typical. They are not marked, but I'm certain that they're American made. The little bottoms are gone, but you have to put your own cardboard and your felt back on there. And they have the sort of, dipped in bronze, like the baby shoes. Everybody have baby shoes dipped in bronze, right?
Absolutely.
Same kind of thing.
When did they stop doing that?
Well,
I don't think my baby shoes were ever dipped in bronze, but I remember having my parents' baby shoes dipped in bronze.
They did it into the 60s. I know that.
Okay. Well, I was a second child, so they probably just gave up on me.
I don't know if
did it for my brother.
Into the 70s or not with that, but I know that it went into the heyday for that was 40s, 50s, in 30s, 40s, 50s. But anyway, so here they are. probably 1930s, 40s, 50s, maybe 1960s. Spanish conquistador head bookends, no damage on them. And we are looking at an opening bid of $15. We move pretty fast here, so I don't see anybody. I'm going to give you another couple of seconds in case we have a lag. Well, there is always a lag. No, I shouldn't say in case we have one. There always is one.
Yeah, there will be a lag.
There's always a lag. And I'll count it down just in case anyway. So, Patrick, I'm going to go ahead and count.
We do have a bid. Robert, back in the day, fines $15.
Okie doke. Robert, thank you. We do have an opening bid, so I'll count them down. Anybody else? Jump in there if you want to. 10, 9. I guess I better do the fingers. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. That's it. For the not Helmut Kohl helmet bookends.
All right, I'm switching between doing refresh, but I think we just had the opening bid on that. So, yep, it looks like Robert back in the day fines $15.
Back in the day, $15. Thank you so much, kindly. I appreciate that, Robert. And let's make Patrick solo.
All right, and sticking with the Unbreakables, we're going to go into another piece of metal. So we had the Spanish bookends, the Conquistador Revival period. We are going to do an Asian style. This is going to be also a start of $15. This is an elephant claw bell. So did a little bit of digging into the history on this, and it's basically they started as larger bells that they would actually hang on the elephants so that you could basically bring your elephants in at the end of the day. You could find them, or as they were approaching the city perimeters, people would know that there were elephants hanging their way. And
Patrick,
then yes.
I apologize. I wasn't listening. What's the start?
Started $15.
Thank you. My fault.
So they started making the smaller versions, and they are used in many different styles. And so they were elephant bells, and then they became the elephant claw bell. As you can see, the claw motif that is set up. It's got the little clangers in there. Hopefully you can hear the actual bell ringing. This one, I did do quite a bit of digging in these. They're fairly popular. This one is enameled along with the chase work done.
Oh,
in there.
that.
So it's, I don't think it's the Champlavet, because I don't think it's particularly carved out of the brass, but you can see some really nice, and you can see I think there's some age to this.
Now I'll show my ignorance. Would you educate me on Champlavet or whatever it was?
So cloisonné is where you take a flat piece of brass and raise it up with forms of metal, and then pour the enamel into the metal so that technically you're building up the enamel. Champlavet takes a flat piece of brass and carves out ditches into the metal, and you fill the ditches with enamel. And that's what this is replicating.
Thank you.
You have more brass showing. If you think of like a cloisonné vase, from a distance, it just looks colorful. Because the wires that are holding it are so thin, what you're seeing is the color in between. In the Champlavet, the brass actually takes a piece as a part of the design work. So you can see the handle itself has been engraved and enameled. Great patina on the neck, and then a great design. The touristy ones typically just have a simple like vine carved around and no enamel work. So I do think there's some age on this one. And I do see a bid on that. So thank you very much, Tizzy. So I'm going to go ahead and start counting this one down. So we've got 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and stop. And that is a elephant claw bell that is going to be rehomed to Tizzy Lish. So thank you, Tizzy. I don't know if I don't recognize your name. I do apologize. So if you've not purchased from me before, or even if you have, can you go ahead and send me an email here with your shipping information? It's not particularly heavy, so shipping will not be expensive. But I will get you an invoice.
I don't know how many of you know or do not know. It's probably pretty obscure unless you are a fan of 1930s radio. But there was an actor, I cannot remember what Tizzy is going to, was it Bob Brooks? There was an actor on the radio who was a male, but he would imitate the female radio cooks of like the Betty Crocker and that kind of thing. And his name was Tizzy Lish.
Oh.
And she would be in the kitchen, ooh, and it was a parody, but that was Tizzy Lish, and it is hilarious. So if you don't know Tizzy Lish, just go find it on the net and listen to one of those old broadcasts, because it's funny humor, where she can't sit still and she says, "Oh, I've got ants in my pantries, or ants in my panties," or it's that funny little, it's almost self-deprecating humor, but Tizzy Lish. And so every time I see it, I just laugh at that.
Well, the little icon is a stylized, almost like the Pringles guy, but it almost looks like something from the 30s. So maybe there is a connection there.
Well, Tizzy, you're in here. You must know, since you're.
Yeah, that can't be a random coincidence.
No, it can't be a random coincidence. I mean, it's one of those names.
The nickname. This is not from Tizzy though. This is from Lisa RN. Nickname of the younger daughter on the TV show Family.
Was Tizzy Lish?
Huh? So Tizzy Lish was the nickname of the younger daughter on the TV show Family. And then Tizzy's commenting, she's laughing at you, Scott. And I can't tell what the icon is. Is it emoji's a beer and then a laughing face? But she's not explaining where the name came from.
Well, I have to admit, I have robbed from Tizzy. I've taken one of my best lines. There are two lines from Tizzy. Indulge me, if you will, please. Where she's talking to the audience. She's trying to come up with a recipe. And she says, "Well, fans, I want to tell you, I stayed up all night last night drinking, thinking." and then the other line is, I've been sitting here concentrating. So it's sort of that, not double entendre, but that kind of humor.
Excellent.
Anyway, that's who Tizzy Lish is on the radio. Scott, we're here for an auction, not to hear you run your mouth.
No, we're here to be entertained. That is why we're here. I would not do this if it was just for an auction. Wait, you muted yourself, Scott. All of a sudden, things got very quiet.
Yes. Patrick, you get an extra 10 minutes.
No, please.
Starting at $15. Once again, we have a set of bookends, and they are in a musical motif. Now, these are from the 30s or 40s. The paper label has fallen off. Were they made in Syracuse, New York? They could have been, because they might be that Sirocco company, but they might not be, because it was more than one company making these sort of wood pulp, sawdust glue items.
Margaret Howell's trying to make a grab at $15.
Huh? From the 20s, 30s, and 40s. Now, one of them got knocked over, and there's a little doggy bite, or there's a little, either somebody chewed on the end of it or it fell over. That's the only damage on these. What I love is just, you've got the original surface. You got a music friend. There's the wooden bottom. And again, sawdust, glue, pulp, whatever. And they paint them. And these were inexpensive, Woolworths, dime store type things. But 1930s or 40s, very handsome bookends for your favorite music major who's getting ready to graduate from college, your church organist, yourself. Why not?
Dan B has brought it up to $20.
And the music is somebody asked me, "Hey Scott, what's the music?" And I looked at it. I don't recognize it as anything recognizable. But we have two flats, okay, all you music majors, choir people. What key are we in with two flats?
I can't. I cannot answer. I could probably play it on the piano behind me, but you'd have to give me the notes. But
Well, I'll count it down.
I do not know my keys.
It's actually the Mixolydian mode, but now we're getting too deep into the rabbit hole.
Luigi says they're very Sherlockian. I would say that they are dark academia in design. Suzanne says they're B flat.
It's the key of B flat. B flat and E flat are the two flats in the key of B flat. Counting it down: 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. That's it. My favorite key, actually, is the key of E flat. I love to play the piano in the key of E flat. My favorite key. I don't know why.
All right, we got a couple of people coming in at the end, so I am going to go back and try and refresh. Let's see who's at the end. All right, it looks like Suzanne B snuck in at $25 right before the stop. So congratulations, Suzanne B for $25.
Suzanne, I think I know you. Again, I apologize if I forget. If I've already got your info, don't worry about it. If I don't have your info, send it to Old Curiosity. I'll put it in the chat, but I think I know you. Thank you. Thanks, everybody. Patrick.
All right. Going to Sparkle and Mund speaking on a line from Singing in the Rain. That is E flat is the key that they sing in at the very end. Singing in the Rain in E flat. All right, my next item is going to be an $8 start, less expensive item. You start out with, probably a vintage-ish tin looking like an Oreo. But what you're actually getting for this with an $8 start is a ton of these little mini bobbins. And I meant to relook this up. KP was super kind and told me in my social media what these actually were for, and I have forgotten. But I know KP's in the chat, so if you could remind us, KP, I would appreciate that. So they Star Bobbin Style O American Thread Company. So they are what appears to be little wood bobbins with the thread on here. And I don't know if 500 is 500 yards. There we go. Thank you, KP. Buttonhole twist thread. And you can see how many are in here. So there's kind of there's like a pale cream, a pale yellow. So I think these are slightly different colors. You can see there's a slight difference there. The light's kind of shining. But then there's also like a robin's egg, Wedgwoody blue. I don't think I've got any. Oh, no, there is. I think there is a pure white is in here. I did not count these, but you get all of them. So I do not have any black. I apologize. I bought these a while ago. I used to do ephemera packs, and they were really popular for a while when I was more regularly doing my sales. And I would just throw a couple of these in as a mixed bag, literally, of ephemera. These are just fun because literally they are disposable bobbins. They're not designed to stick around. Usually metal bobbins, so you can rewind them, but these little wooden ones, I guess technically you could probably rewind on them, but yes, they would go into the bottom part of the sewing machine. So you have the big spool of thread at the top, you have the tiny little spool at the bottom, and so you stitch the two pieces together. So that's what they are, but they are. KP felt that they were for a specific type of buttonhole. So it's just for handmade. But they are the size that would go into a sewing machine. You are correct as well. But KP is saying they would not go into a sewing machine, although they are the correct size. I'm not going to put that dog in the hunt because I'm not sure. I just thought they were cool. So I bought the entire bin. It used to be completely filled. That's how many I gave away. But you can see there's dozens in here. So there's a lot here for crafting projects. Use the thread, use them for hand sewing. You will never run out of thread. And you get a funky, cool tin to go with it. So, and it's got the little Oreo imprinted on the front. On the back, there's just an age. I'm probably 90s, I would think, maybe 2000s. I don't ever remember seeing Oreos in a tin like this. Actually, I'm not sure how airtight this tin would be.
I think your high bid is 12 right now.
All right, we will then do the countdown. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and stop. So it's not particularly heavy either. I mean, I'm probably going to go up over a pound, but it's not going to be horrible to ship. Because again, being in the middle of the country, my shipping's not too bad, and I use pirate ship to help everybody out. So glad people are interested in it because I thought it was kind of a fun item to offer. All right,
Okay,
can you do your?
Just hit refresh, and it appears as though on my side, Cara Ramal at $20. From what I'm seeing, Lori came in at 21 just after the stop. So it does appear that Cara Ramal has it at 20.
Excellent. That you are a new name to me, I believe, Kara. So thank you, or Kara. Thank you so much for purchasing. If you just send the email to this email address, I will make sure you get an invoice.
All right, that was fun. Solo layout. I've got another easy peasy project for you because I got enough projects around here. Look at that polychromed, ivory and then polychromed, 19, 28, 29, 30 metal lamp.
Start price?
$15.
Beautiful.
Now that's the original polychrome paint on there. Don't you repaint this, or I'm not selling it to you. Isn't that awful? So again, spelter, right? This is poured when it's molten. It's molten, poured into a mold, and then these are polychromed, meaning really just painted. But I love the old ivory color on it. All you need to do is, you go and you get a socket and a threader, a threaded screw. In it goes. On goes your socket. Don't do like me. You know, how many times have I rewired a lamp and then you forget to run the cord through the hole in the bottom and you got to undo the whole thing? So there would have been two. This is what's called really a boudoir lamp. And this would have come, again, as a set of two. I've just got the one.
You started out.
Okay. And then you can go ahead and restore it yourself. Don't go out and buy a bright, shiny socket. Go to one of your thrift shops and find an old broken down lamp. The sockets are usually okay. Get an old one with some patina on it. Then you can put a little clip-on shade. This would have had a clip-on shade rather than a harp because it's so small. And I brought a ruler out here, and I don't know what I've done with it. But I can tell you that it is about 7 inches tall.
Compare it to the height of your cocktail shaker.
Yeah, well, that's 9 inches from here to here. So we're somewhere between 6 and 7 inches tall. It's kind of typical for a little 1930, 20s, 30s.
A harp would make that top heavy for that height. Yeah, I can see the clip-on shade would be cute.
Yeah, no. And in fact, the socket would go right here. Like the socket literally would be, you don't even need the socket would go right there, clip the shade on, and you're all set. It's a pretty little lamp. Ivory in color and then green, you can see. It's not broken. Wonderful condition on the old paint. I just love these old lamps. All right. So there's a bid there somewhere, and so I'll go ahead and count it down. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. That's it. On that little thing.
All right, I'm going to watch the delay. So I just entered in the stop, and it looks like you just have the Roxanne was the, oh, wait. Oop, Jenny tried to sneak in. Let me refresh.
Oh, I got to bring you back.
All right, Jenny tried to snipe in, but she missed the stop. So it is Roxanne Sawade at 15.
I will scroll back up and write that down. Roxanne, I don't know if I know you, so I will also put my email address in here so that if I don't know you, Roxanne, you can send me your information. And if you have bought from me before through live sales, not eBay, that's different. But if you've bought, if you've bought from me through a live sale before, the bottom line is if you don't get an invoice from me by 6 o'clock tomorrow night, it means I can't find you. So then reach out to me. But
or your email went into spam.
Or sometimes people forget to put the 99 at the end of Old Curiosity Shop, and I don't get it. So if I don't know you, I'll. She needs it. Okay, I'll put it in. And it was 15. Patrick, your turn.
Yep.
Thank you, Roxanne.
Cara had asked, so my email address, now that I'm back on screen, that's why my email address is here. So when Scott's full, you don't get to see mine, but I am back and that is my email address. All right. So here's the next item. He is very tall. So this is currently sitting on the floor and it is 54 inches tall. It is a $25 start. And it's not going to be nearly as scary as it looks to be able to ship this because it is currently taped to a cardboard backing. I will ship this rolled. What this is, and you can kind of see, it's black paper, and it is a stone rubbing. And as if this dude is not cool enough. Now, when I first sourced this and put this on my video, I incorrectly said it was a tombstone rubbing, which is not they are not expressly tombstones. Like this is a hobby. It's an activity. I can say firsthand, it's a difficult one because when I was married, my wife tried to do rubbings on a trip to Europe, and it was very difficult to get good rubbings. This is a black sheet of paper, a very long sheet of paper, 54 inches tall, 14 inches wide. Probably this was a plaque or some sort of bas relief on the edge, on the side of a church somewhere. You got, I don't know, he's not holding a sword. I'm not sure what those epaulets on his shoulder represent, if he's some clergy or he was a nobleman. But as if he's not cool enough, they kept going and found this little duty down here at the end. So you've got this small little rubbing with three kind of look like monks at the bottom, all on one sheet. Now, when I showed this, I had several people say, oh, you should cut the bottom one off so that, because that would be very easy to frame and you would have a very cool rubbing. But I didn't have the heart to do that. So I picked this up relatively inexpensively because it was in a frame that was damaged. And to ship this in the frame would cost a fortune because it is over 4 feet long. But what I can do is it is simply a piece of paper. So I have some large cardboard rolls that I can roll this in. U.S. Postal Service offers a mailing tube that's actually a big triangular Toblerone shaped box. So I can put that in that. And it will be very easy to be able to ship this. If you don't want to frame it, you can get those poster clips to clip at the top and clip the weight at the bottom, and it will just stretch out on your wall. And if you choose, you can cut off the little dudes at the bottom and frame that, and you've got a very attractive framed piece. So this is one of my favorite things to pick up. But it's just one of those hard. It's difficult. I was going to try and list it on eBay, but it's this was a $25 start. Apologize if I thought we put that in there, but Scott did not. Apologize. $25 start.
Sorry.
Nope, that's okay.
I was doing something.
Nobody else had asked, so I don't think there's a lot of interest in it. But I'll go ahead and count it down just in case people were hoping to get in at the last minute. So it's a $25 start. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and a stop. And that is the stone rubbing.
Adelaide has placed a $30 bid, I believe.
Oh, thank you, Adelaide.
I love that thing, and I apologize. I was busy measuring my shelf paper, and I stepped away.
And I didn't realize you hadn't done it, or I would have just entered it myself. So did you put the stop in?
No.
All right. Well, Adelaide gets it for $30. We're just falling apart all over the place right now.
Really, if you put putting the stop in late is not a problem. Putting it in early
Right.
is a problem. But if it goes in late, but
well, thank you very much, Adelaide. That's very kind of you to even jump beyond the opening bid. But I think he's worth every penny. What the ones that I found listed, if you could track who this is, and I've tried Google Lens to the ends of the earth trying to figure out who those characters are. Couldn't do it. They do sell for quite a bit of money, but you have to be able to know who they are. So hopefully you can give it a good home and enjoy. Back to you, Scott.
okay. It's a neat thing that you'll have on your wall that'll be very unique. Now, let's do. Oh, heck. Oh, let's do this. Okay. I got a nut dish. Now, you know what? This is old. Well, the wood is ancient, but the actual dish was probably made sometime in the 20s. And from what we can tell, this is actually redwood forest. We're going to start at $10 on it. You'll see that I did nothing to it. I didn't put scratch cover on it. It is as found. You decide what you want to do with it if you're interested in it. But we'll turn it this way and you can see that this is a metal piece here for the cracking of the nut. Doesn't have holes in it where those little picks would go. Remember the ones from the 70s, which was like wood bark? Well, this is a lot older than that. Now, how do we know it's California redwood forest? Well, thankfully, there's a little bit of a label on the back. And it says that it was made by the Standard Specialty Company of San Francisco. And then it's hard to see, but Patrick looked it up for me, and I thank him for that. What's rubbed out here is that they sold products from the California redwood forest. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay. And you can also tell by the font of the label here, sort of the style of the label, that this label was probably made sometime in the 1920s. So we'll turn it back this way and let you see. You know,
$12 from Margaret Howell.
I'm a wood guy. I love wood. Now, how old are the California redwoods? They're ancient, right? So it's like.
And let's hope they waited for one to fall down to make wood products out of it. They didn't chop it down. Like, oh, hey, let's make some bowls out of this.
Yeah. I hope so. I was thinking the same thing. I would rather see it majestically towering, but, you know, they die, they fall.
They do die naturally. Absolutely.
Who knows? But there it is. It kind of reminds me of a roulette. Yeah.
It really does.
Doesn't it? And yeah, you know, when it was new and sold new, it might have had picks and hammers and crackers and wrenches. It might have had other accoutrements with it. I don't know.
I think some of the later ones, though, that was, like you said, those are the ones that it was built in. So it was like a little place to put the nutcracker, a little place to put the pick, a little everything, place for everything, everything's placed. That one, I think, served multi-purpose. Like
that's the one I grew up with. That always came out at Christmas time. It was always on the coffee table with Brazil nuts and hazelnuts. And you all know the cracker and the picks. It was a Christmas time thing. That is a solid piece right there for the cracking of the nut. But you couldn't really attach the other pieces to it. So they're long gone. So we'll take it as we've got it. And it is 8.5 inches about 8.5 inches in diameter. So I'll count this down. Here we go. 10.
Robert's brought you up to 15.
10. Any questions? Let's see if there's any question before. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. That's it. And so that the neighbors across the street can't stare at me, I'm going to lower my Venetian blinds.
All right, I just got the countdown, so I refresh, and it looks like we've got a couple last-minute attempts. So let me refresh. And it looks like back in the day finds came in right before Margaret Howell, both at 23, but I've got Back in the Day Finds first. So Back in the Day Finds gets it at 23.
Thank you, Back in the Day Finds at 23. Thank you, everyone who placed your bids. I appreciate that as well. It is 8:45. We've got 329 folks here on Monday night, June the whatever. We're happy to have you. And let's keep it going. Patrick, it's your turn.
All right. This is one of the literally rare items that I'm offering that is actually from my own childhood. And I'm happy to get rid of it because unlike many people, I don't want to relive my childhood. Thank you very much. So what I have is a collection of Hot Wheels toys, and it's collector's race car carrying case. So there are 22 cars and the carrying case, with the recognition that one of the trays is missing from the case. But this is all of this you get for $20 start. So $20 start, and I will go through so you can see what you're actually receiving, because there is a mix here. So a lot of these are marked Hot Wheels. You know, guess what year this was from? 1976, because everything had to be freaking red, white, and blue in 1976 for the bicentennial. So this is Hot Wheels. I have gone through and sold all the red lines. I actually had dozens of red lines, so that was very nice. But these are going to be a lot more play worn. But hey, if you got kids, you got grandkids, you want to kill them with lead paint, this is your source. You can be innocent enough. So you got the dump truck, and the dump truck actually moves. Some of them are plastic, but like this one is all metal. And then you also have, and I really don't remember these. I don't know if you remember these, Scott, midget toys. So these are a lot simpler. They're all metal, but they're just the framework. So they don't have any body to them. So I've got this orange, let's see, coupe. I've got the, check out the dragster, the drag racer. So these are marked midget toys. Got a little purple Jeep and a pink Corvette. So those are all midget toys. We've got another red, white, and blue. This one's actually plastic, and that's got the RC logo on the front. So this one actually was not a Hot Wheels. So you can see that one. That was from those electric racing sets.
Oh,
so
yes.
You got the little connectors there that you could race those in a loop in a circle. Right. So it's a Porsche. Did Scott not enter this? This was a $20 start. So yes, thank you, Randy. It's $20 start. This one has, like, I don't know if you can see it. Yeah, you can see the metallics. This has a gold to it. Split rear window Corvette. So that one I think is a Hot Wheels. Some of them you see was marked. That technically was my brother's. I stole it. Another dinky, like kind of a military Jeep style. Got a garbage truck, cleansing service with an opening door on the back. This kind of cool copper colored, like futuristic car. We're in the Midwest. Got to have a snowplow. So you got a snowplow there. Fire truck in red, purple, race car, convertible. This one looks like this was also part of the race set, the electric race set, because it's got the little prongs on the bottom. Another purple. That's got my initials on it, so that was mine. Another purple convertible. Only a handful left. The front half of a semi, but I don't have the back half. That was another midget toy. Green midget toy. This one's kind of cool. I don't think I ever saw a car that looked like that. This appears to be something from a cartoon character. That one it's called the Nucleon. And this was from Johnny, what, I can't read it. Johnny Lightning? I don't know if we can read that. Can't quite. Can't be Jimmy Neutron. Can't quite read what that says. So that was a different brand. Another Formula One style. Check out the nose on that one. And the last one, construction dirt mover. The box originally wasn't going to include it because technically it's missing one of its trays. But what am I going to do with it? So each tray holds one of the cars and they stack up in here. But because the top of one of the trays is missing, it's a little bit harder to clasp it because it wants to push in as you push down on the clamp. The clamp's there. The clasp is there. It's just harder to use because you don't have anything to push back on the little snap at the top. So I've got Robert opening up with the bid at $20. I'm going to go ahead and start counting it down. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and you get all of it. And if Robert gets it, that's for less than $1 a piece. So great deal. And you're buying my childhood. Happy to ditch it. So watch for the stop. If you remember, Scott, just count the stop. He does. He put the stop in. Looks like Robert was protecting himself. And so, Robert, you get it for 20.
All right. And to answer your question, Patrick, no, I do not remember those. And would you like to know why? Because
Why?
all they had to do with me when I was 10 years old was give me a broken manual typewriter, and I was happy as a clam.
Well, when you put your broken typewriter up for sale, I'm sure everyone will want to buy it because it was once owned by Scott.
I ain't selling that. I still have that typewriter. How about some clothespins? Now, I counted these, and now I forget how many I have.
I hate when that happens.
But I can tell you roughly. $10. The oldest look like that. And I know there are 19 of those because I remember counting. That's the old. Now that is, boy, how many? Now that's going back.
I say those are fancy. I had wooden ones growing up, but not like looks like that.
Well, here's the whole bucket. You don't get this. Sorry. But you can look in there. That's a good 30 or 40 clothespins. 19 of them are sort of like the little toy soldier clothespins. Now that has to be 20s, 30s. This is early clothespin. And let's see if I can. No, I'm from New Jersey. I don't need any help with a nasal voice. But there are 19 of these. Now, some of you clothespin people, I don't know, but you'll know. You know how old that is?
I see Lori Perry brought in at 10.
The others. So there are 19 of these and probably about 30 of these. These are old as well because they have all of these have this metal piece here, this little metal band wrapped around there for some extra strength right there. And all of the other ones, so 19 of those, and the rest of them look like this. And they all have that little metal band. So here is let me see if I can not throw these into the street or throw myself on the floor.
I don't remember the metal band. I remember that shape, but I don't remember the band.
I shall now fondle my clothespins. All of the AMSR people are going to love this. Are you ready?
Allie says she still uses her wooden clothespins.
What does AMSR stand for?
Auditory stimulation, something.
It's a thing with people, where they listen and it excites them, I guess, to hear certain noises.
Or calms them. They react to it. So
okay,
it can be positive and calming.
Well,
very cool.
But you do not get my bucket because I put water in this, and that's how I fill the bird bath. This stays out here on the porch. So
Suzanne brought you up to $12.
All right. So we'll count these clothespins down. My mother, remember Grammy would have that clothespin thing, and then there was a clothespin thing that would hang, and the pins were in that cloth.
Yep, so easy to pull them out and easy to dump them back in.
10, 9, 8, 7. You know what I remember? A storm would come up. Run outside and get those clothes off the line. Because when I was a boy, my mother would hang clothes on the line. She doesn't do it now, but when I was, how many of you remember, here comes the storm and you run outside and you try to get the clothes off the line before the storm? 6, 5. You didn't think I could pick it back up, did you? 4, 3, 2, 1. That's it. Now, why is the bird singing? He should be in his nest. You hear the robin?
I do.
Isn't it nesting time?
Watching the countdown. All right, just saw the stop. So I'm throwing the stop in there. Ooh, a bunch of people trying to get in at the last minute. So let me refresh. And I see Jacqueline B took it at $25.
Jacqueline, if I have some, I think I've got some more in the basement. If I do, I'm going to throw them in there for you. There might be another 10 or 20 of them, I think. So I'll throw them in there for you as well. Because I had to, because that's just what I think. Jacqueline B, thank you. I appreciate it. Let's go back to the group layout. It is now 5 of 9, and we can keep on going, or we can take a little 2-minute intermission. It's up to you guys.
I'm okay to keep going. If you
Well,
want
then
to if you want to take a break while I sell the next item, I put my own start in this time because, you know, I learned my lesson.
I'll put it in. That was shade, Patrick. That
Oh,
was
absolutely.
shade.
There's no subtleties in that shade either.
I am putting it in right
I
now.
already did. $20 start.
Boy.
And so this was one of the things when we first came up with the idea of the Unbreakable sale. It started with ephemera, and I just realized I haven't sold any of my ephemera yet. I have some of that coming up. But I also had a bunch of linens. And so that's why we extended beyond ephemera into Unbreakable. And we've got linens included. So this is a $20 start, which has already been kindly entered into the chat by me. But it is a 33-inch square table topper. So I've had full-fledged tablecloths in the past. And although everyone felt they were beautiful, once you get into the full-size tablecloths, you really kind of have to have a table that size or they're not really particularly useful. This one is a little bit more size, maybe for a card table. 33 by 33 is about that size. But it would also be perfect for if you've got a round table or even a larger table to put this as the centerpiece to it. And it's a hand-stitched piece. It has a beautiful hem stitch, folded over, stitch done on the side. And what is absolutely amazing with this, let me put my cheaters back on so I make sure I'm highlighting it. The design that's stitched into this is clearly utilizing a cross stitch pattern. Very simple, simplistic, you know, very, very cool motif with this beautiful basket, this wonderful scroll work going all the way around all 4 edges, and then a beautiful centerpiece that is open in the middle. So you can put a centerpiece, you can put a floral vase or a bowl or something on there. But I love selling linens. I love selling embroidery. For those who don't know, I actually used to own a quilt store with my ex-wife for 10 years. We sold fabric, sold quilts. I don't get into that, but I always got into the embroidery stuff. So this is all done by hand, and I can tell because when you flip to the back, I'm going to show you 2 things. When you flip to the back, one, you can see these pink stitches here. They're called carried. They carried those stitches. A machine would not do that because that's actually wasting thread. And what they did is you think about that line of pink. That line of pink is around the handle. It's just these 3 little spots. So when they were doing it by hand, they stitched the front, carried the stitch to the next one, stitched that rose, stitched, carried again to the next. Beautiful. What the problem, and the reason I now know more about this, is my ex-wife entered a competition for one of her stitching pieces, her embroidery pieces. She carried those stitches. Well, when you frame this and then you hold up a light, which your obnoxious guests will try and do at your dinner party, you can see that pink line carrying through. So a true professional, true high grade would have knotted each individual rose off so you never carried it. All right. So this person gets dinged for that. However, all of these are X's. Very clearly X's. This is cross stitch, truest definition. There's not even they didn't even do the single quarter stitches at the edge of the basket. They are all cross stitches. But now check out the basket. Look at the unidirectionality of those X's. I don't even know how this person did it. Like I thought the back belonged to a different piece of fabric. How do you make X's without ever crossing in the back? That's an art form right there. That is unbelievably well done. So they were lazy and carried the basket handle stitches. All right. But you win, absolute should be winning awards for the way the rest of that's done. And all of it was done that way. I mean, just usually the back, especially in a homemade piece, the back is just a mess. You could flip this over. You could put this out and people would just be obsessed with how great the stitch work is done. So this is absolutely beautiful. And also, yeah, if you've got a plant table, anything smaller, again, it's 33 inches square. This would give a really nice drape down the edges of a smaller table. I did not measure the center. So let me just measure the square piece. The square piece in the middle is 13 and a half. So if you've got like a 16 or an 18 inch end table or nightstand, that square would be completely solid in the middle. And then all of this beautiful corner work would be draping down. This is absolutely gorgeous and unbelievably well done. So going to go ahead and count it down. I've gushed about it enough. At some point, I'm changing out my dining room table and I will do a video on it because I'm keeping one of the best pieces that I found. But this is also right up there, but I'm letting this one go. So we're going to count this down. I definitely saw some bids. So if Scott can be ready for the stop, we're at 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and we'd be done. So I see a couple of people jumping in toward the end, so I will watch for Scott to do the stop. I see the stop. Ooh, but we had Lynn trying to catch it. Can you do your refresh, Scott?
I just did it, and it appears as though it might be Mr. Joytown at 48.
All right. Sorry, Lynn. Looks like you snuck in right after that. So Mr. Joji Town.
Oh, Joji.
48. That is not a name that I know. So again, if you could just send an email here, I would appreciate that. And thank you for so much. And thanks everyone for bidding on that. I'm glad everyone liked that. I love selling them. Sometimes they're popular, sometimes they're not. So I'm glad to hear that this one was popular. Back to Scott.
Okay. All right. Give me just a moment here. I'll hold off on that. All right, let's do this, which I was waving around in a lightning storm yesterday on my front porch like a buffoon.
Living on the edge.
Just strike me down right now. The start is $25 because the cocktail shaker is coming to you with all 6 of its matching stems. Chrome plated, classic Art Deco. Now we know after Prohibition went bye-bye in 1933, thank you FDR, the companies were already these were already ready to be sold. In fact, these were already on the market because and in those days, let's see, inauguration wasn't until March. Now it's in January, but right? Remember that history? So he was elected in November, and he had already said, Prohibition, goodbye. And the manufacturers wasted no time. So these things already went on the market even before.
Jenny kicked you off at 25. Suzanne bumps you up to 27.
Even before he was inaugurated. When did they change the inaugurations from March to January? I don't know.
That's a piece of history I do not know.
That's a piece of history. But anyway, the night. Hold on. Sorry.
You're just trying to compete with my bell.
Let me tell you one nice thing. Ring my bell. A lot of time. Well, first of all, we've got this wonderful red lucite handle. The caps are sometimes missing. This little threaded screw.
Scott's going to make sure it's missing at some point.
Okay, it's on the floor under the ottoman, but I have it. And it screws on right there, but I have to crawl under here and get it in a minute. None of the metal is split. You need to double check when you find these, and it's got my fingerprints on it. The metal will just split with age. Somebody got this and they put it away and they never used it. So the chrome cocktail shaker, everything is with it, and boy, does it look neat with these sitting all around it. You can be so metropolitan. You can be so, oh, I don't know. Who would do that? David Niven and Myrna Loy, or
Nick and Nora.
Adolph Minju. He's a little earlier than that. Nick and Nora, there you go.
Well, Lynn is trying to take it home. She's got you at 30.
All right, Lynn. You might get it, but we'll go ahead and count it down. 10, 9, 8. I got to go find the top. 7.
Don't forget that.
I won't, because I'll step on it. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. That's it. Now, let me go find that blooming. Let's see who won. Did they tell us when they changed the inauguration from?
I didn't see anyone jump into Google mode and share that with us. All right, a couple people are trying to sneak in at the end. Let me refresh and see who beat the clock. I am seeing. All right, looks like the first $40 bid before the stop was Trojan for You, was the first one. There were 2 bids at 40, but Trojan for You was the first. And unfortunately, Lynn missed. She jumped past it, but it came in after the stop. Sorry, Lynn.
Trojan at 40?
Yes.
Trojan, you're going to be shaking those Manhattans in about 10 days if I can get it shipped to you quickly. Thank you. And thank you, everyone who bid. Now, let me go get that piece because it fell on the floor. And somebody was kind enough to tell us that it was 1937.
Oh, excellent.
So after when they changed inauguration from March
to January.
Thank you, everyone. That was fun.
All right. So I do have some ephemera, so I'm going to go ahead and start with this one because I just talked about all the stitch work and all the embroidery work. And here I have a Priscilla War Workbook, Comforts for Soldiers and Sailors, published by the Priscilla Publishing Company, Boston, Massachusetts, copyrighted 1917. This is a war workbook for World War I, but because World War II hadn't happened yet, they didn't call it World War I. They just called it the War Workbook. So this is a $10 start. Thank you, Regina, for starting it out. And what this is, it is a booklet that was issued by the Priscilla War Work. Now, also remember, this is copyrighted in 1917. The war had already been waging for a couple of years.
Yeah.
But they didn't know when it was going to end. So literally what this book is, it is a lesson in knitting. If you don't know how to knit, you can easily learn from these carefully worked out details and instructions. To me, I feel I'm skilled in many areas. This is witchcraft. Any knitting, crocheting, absolute witchcraft. I do not understand it. These pictures do not help. But these are knitted articles officially endorsed by the American Red Cross. And literally what it is giving you instructions of how to do a knitted muffler for your doughboy, a sleeveless sweater, a knitted sleeveless sweater for the soldier. You can do a lightweight sweater or heavy. Knitted helmets. So, okay, you probably don't need this underneath your battle helmet anymore, but I bet that'd keep you nice and toasty in the New England cold. So you got instructions. What's that, Scott?
Nothing. I'm sorry.
So also used by our boys in the Navy. Medium-sized man socks. So some of these instructions you could probably still use if you are so free you have so much free time you want to knit your socks. Thumbless mittens.
Oh, darn.
These are popular now. Thumbless mittens. I mean, check those out. So we've got, and I'm not even halfway through. Hospital bed socks, knitting tips for Red Cross workers, balaclava sleeping cap,
Ooh.
hospital garments needed by the Red Cross. And there's this is a 2-page spread, and there's some great photographs in here along with illustrations. So this is just this great combination. This robe that you could, I'm sorry, how much time would it take to knit that freaking robe? So all of the things that they were asking for you to do for your country, create these items specifically for the war. So it's a great article. Red Cross Memorial Quilt. I don't think that's knitted, but it could be.
You do have bids, so keep it going. Keep it going.
Excellent. Comfort kits. It's just this is this type of stuff that I love. Not necessarily military specific, but it's a very specific catch in time. Knitted garments for the Boy Scouts. This, if you want to have any question about what were soldiers wearing, what kind of clothing, what stuff was being able to be knitted. Look how high those socks are. All these different things that you can get out of this. And then because it was issued by a company, you also get the advertising of what else they've produced on other knitting books. Eye bandage material, hot water bottle cover. This is just fun. So yeah, I do have some bids. Sorry, I was just getting a little obsessed. Big ad in the back for Perry Lusta needlework thread. I've sold thread already. I've sold needlework already. Now I've got an ad for the Perry Lusta crochet out of New York City. And we're going to go ahead and count it down.
Okay.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and stop.
All right. I'm watching on my other screen, and he did it, and it's in, and let's all hit refresh.
Now, I actually find Dorothy's comment fascinating that crocheting is faster than knitting. Again, I think they're all witchcraft, but I didn't realize one was particularly faster than the other.
It appears as though Regina Rainey is your high bid at 35.
All right. Thank you so much, Regina.
And
enjoy. And if you make anything, make sure you share it with us. I'll put it on my social media.
Anybody wants to double check that for me, because that's what I'm seeing. Now, make sure you
I am seeing the same thing.
Yeah. You do. Okay.
Yes.
All right. Okie doke. Okie doke. While we're doing magazines, I've got a fun little group of magazines for you. And we're going to start at $19. And you will receive 4 magazines. And shall I show them to you now quickly? And then we'll look at them again, and we'll spend just a few seconds on each one. Here are the 4. I will first tell you that they are in respectable condition, which means you could sit on your sofa. They're not filled with dirt, silverfish. They don't have mold. Do they smell old? Yeah, but they don't smell like dirty, moldy basement. Some people are funny about that. So I wanted to get that out of the way. It's paper. Obviously, the magazines. What will you get? You will get Every Woman's Magazine. This is from May 1948. That's one. The second one that will be included is the Saturday Evening Post with a Norman Rockwell cover. And this is from December 28th, 1940. Oh, little did they know at Christmas time of 1940 how different the world would be. What, in 12 months?
And of course, a Norman Rockwell cover in the Saturday Evening Post.
Norman Rockwell cover. And then the other 2 are Home Arts. Now, they both have bites out of that corner. I don't know what got to them, but something did. But the rest of it is all complete. What year are the Home Arts from? That's June of 1937. And that's February of 1940. Okay, now let's just look at them again quickly. We won't spend too much time. Every Woman's Magazine, 1948. I don't know. It's just there's little Lulu. So, it's just one of those 1940s. I don't know what kind of hairdo that was.
The chignon.
Beats me. So women were supposed to read this, and then they were supposed to happily go and clean their toilets.
while wearing heels, of course.
Which is what I expect you all continue to do, is clean your toilets in heels. And there's dresses and things. So everyone, a woman's magazine, 1948, the Saturday Evening Post, December of did I tell you what the opening bid was?
I did.
I did tell you? Okay.
Yeah, 19.
And this one, the facts about Lindbergh. Ooh, I don't know if they're talking.
Lori has you started with $20.
They're not talking about the cheese. I think they're talking about the guy that flew across the Atlantic, and he was a little controversial in 1940, before the war. You know your Lindbergh history, right? Let's not get into it. Anyway, just trying to get you to see that they're in very respectable, readable condition. And of course, Germany had already invaded Poland at that time, so we've got like national defense. Rubber does it better. I think, you know, the folks who knew what was coming were already getting ready for you know what. Yeah, so here's a whole story about Lindbergh. Now, this is way after the Lindbergh baby, but sad, terribly sad story. And then, anyway. Okay, and then let's do, now the home arts. These are neat. That one's 1940, that one's 1937. Spider, look at that. The spider and the, some kind of a bug.
Black Widow taking her husband home to kill him?
Apparently, and Janet Gaynor is happy to be smoking her Lucky Strikes. Look, exquisite tablecloths. What is home art? Oh, it's needlecraft. Okay, so this is a needlecraft book from that era, from 1937. And I just love these old magazines. Look at the shoulder pads. And then the other one is home arts from 1940. Valentine's, 1940. And we have some nice Olsen rugs on the back. And let's just very quickly. So this is another one, a needlework magazine. And these appear to be these are complete. So all these linens that we sell, I need to read this because I don't know the difference between embroidery and crochet and all that stuff. And there's a little story. And what's this? Want to know how I got freckles? Says Kate Smith. I have to admit, it's very rare that I lie awake at night wondering how Kate Smith got freckles. But if you're interested, apparently you can find out. I guess it's because she didn't use Calmet baking powder. Applique crash cloths. So the magazine lot will be yours. Shall we count it down?
Yep, you've got some bids.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. For all four of those.
Okay, waiting for the image to catch up.
Okay.
Flag, seeing the countdown now, and entering the stop. All right, gonna do a quick refresh just to be sure. But it looks like Regina Rainey gets it for $29.
She got yours, didn't she?
She did. She got the Priscilla Ward. Yeah, so she's got all kinds of stitching stuff coming her way.
Regina Rainey. Before I pack those up, I'm going to double check in the basement. There might be, I think there's one more home arts floating around there because I thought I had 3. And if I can find the third one, I'll stick it in there for you. But I can't promise that. Something's telling me there's another one down there somewhere.
All right.
Thank you, Regina.
Where are my crafters? I've got a $10 start.
Okay.
For
And you put it in. You put it in
Yes.
yourself. Okay.
I did.
I'm running in the house for just a second, so talk all you want.
Got $10 start for a couple pounds of vintage jewelry. So what all of this, these are all in some way damaged, but a proper crafter can probably bring some of this stuff back to life. But also, in some cases, what's damaged is like this is missing one of the rhinestones. You can see the rhinestones missing right there. I then consider this damaged. But if you wanted to wear this necklace by itself is worth more than $10. So we've got $10 start. There's brooches in here. Again, the brooches, if they're in here, is because they're missing the rhinestone or missing the some rhinestones. We've got this great green, probably 60s. Some of the this little foamy stuff has been chewed away of a couple of the beads. So again, not perfect condition. Not even sure what this is, but look at those rhinestones. Fantastic. Maybe it's part of a pendant because you can kind of see a little bit of clasps on either side, but it seems like this was mounted into something else. So you get this. This by itself is worth more than $10. We've got tons and tons of different types of pearls. One of the common things with the necklaces, and this is one of them, is with one of these pearl necklaces, is 2 strings on the necklace. But if you look at the finding, it should have 3. So for most of these necklaces, if you just were to wear it, you wouldn't even know that it's supposed to have 3. So in some cases, this is a perfectly functional necklace, but technically I consider that damaged. So it went into this box. Another great, this is like a pink pearl necklace. The box clasp on, just check out that box clasp. The problem is the actual clasp itself. One is missing one of the strands. There's a 3-strand, but only 2 is on here. And the box clasp is missing its spring. So it doesn't stay in anymore. But if you can figure out some engineering or find something to replace it, or just repurpose that into a brooch, that is just an absolutely fantastic piece. We've got earrings. It's like in some cases, the earrings are missing parts of their back. This one I actually found it. It's just they're loose. We've got red plastic. You've got a great pendant with a cameo in it. Again, gorgeous, missing a rhinestone. So, take in consideration, if you know my channel, I just don't sell damaged stuff. So my definition of damaged is going to be very tight. This is beautiful. This is in pristine condition. It's a bead, but I don't have anything to go with it. So it's just being thrown in here as this, transfer wear ceramic bead. Again, this earring is in perfect condition. Its match has some damage to it. So in some cases, you'll have like mismatched pieces. Some of the finish on some of the pearls are coming off. They had some sort of treatment on them. So some of those, you might be creative. I mean, check out this one. That is Aurora Borealis beads. This earring is in perfect shape. The other one, all of the beads are there, but they're no longer attached. So if you're skilled, you can wire them back in. You would have a pair of clip earrings.
I see Susan Stone at 25.
Excellent. This is that other match. So again, beautiful earring, but the back is broken off. So you can either find another back or turn this into a brooch. Again, some of this stuff, some of these are just really cool looking pieces. This one is a perfectly functional earring. The other one's damaged. I'm just going to show really quickly just what some of the other materials are. So there's this black and white kind of Flintstone style plastic. Same thing. It's a 3-strand finding, but only 2 strands are on here. This one is the pearls. The finishes are coming off. This one is a 4-strand finding, but only 2 strands. But check out the beadwork on this. This is absolutely gorgeous. Look at the porcelain bead there in the middle. Just some absolutely gorgeous colors on these. And again, you wear this as it's up. No one's going to see the finding. They're not going to notice, but I know. So it went into the box. There's some brooches. This white metal brooch missing a rhinestone. This really cool piece. I don't know what this is. Check that out.
Wow.
I think it's broken off of something because it doesn't seem to have any purpose by itself. There's no place to hang it. There's no place to mount it. Maybe it was a brooch, but I don't see where the connection would have been on the back. But this is gorgeous, like just by itself. Like, so again, if you've ever a good crafter, this could turn into something beautiful. These beautiful red and white beads. Can't remember. I think the something's wrong with these, but you maybe reuse some of those individual beads. Are beautiful.
I just want to make sure that we give folks an opportunity in the chat if there are questions specifically about the
keep poking to see if there's anybody's got it, because as I zip through these,
I want to kind of focus on what on what you're showing us, Patrick. And in case there are any questions, anybody want to jump in and ask anything specifically about the jewelry? I'm trying to keep an eye on those specific things.
Again, this seems to have been this beautiful rhinestone piece seems to have been broken off of something, but this could become a brooch. Somebody says turn it into a barrette.
28 is your high bid.
These individual pieces are like, each one of these I could probably sell individually for $10 if I had an audience to do so, but I don't. So selling them here. The beautiful pink beads, the clasp is broken. Tie on a new clasp, you've got a beautiful, this could be contemporary. Look, check the coloration on these beads. They're not plastic. I'm not sure what they are, but they're absolutely gorgeous color. Getting down to, like, again, a lot of the damaged earrings, but again, just some of the materials, some of the colors. There's just some gorgeous stuff in here that, put in the right people's hands, you could do some amazing things with these. Embellish a junk journal. This is a flat back earring. The earring part fell off, so you just kind of have a button. There's just some really cool stuff. So I'm going to go ahead and count it down.
Hold on, Patrick. You have a question?
Any of the beads glow? I think I did look, and hold on a second. Let me check again really quick. Some of them have a little bit of a glow, but this isn't glass. It's plastic, so the glow is misleading. The rhinestones, though, no. I think I did go through them, and none of the rhinestones glowed. Thank you for asking that, because I should have clarified that, but no, they do not. This one is actually doing something kind of funky. This little swirly one, you're not gonna be able to see it because it's too bright. These are turning purple underneath the light. So I don't know what that does. They're not fluorescing, but they're actually changing to be more of a purple than anything else. So again, I'll go ahead and do the countdown. Thank you so much. I don't want to take too much time for people that don't care about this stuff. But thank you for those of you who are, I think these were earrings, but the earrings have fallen off, but you can turn these into something else. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and stop.
All right, and I'm watching you count down on my second screen. So that does account for the lag.
Yes.
And I've just placed the stop in, and I'm hitting refresh, and it appears as though it might be Regina Rainey at 35, and I think Jenny Mack came in after the stop.
That is what I'm seeing as well.
Okie doke.
Thank you for trying, Jenny, but congratulations, Regina.
Thank you, everyone, for your interest on that. That was
yes,
nice.
Thank you, everyone who's participating in that. I'm glad these are going to go to a good home.
I had a short moment when I thought I was going to become a jewelry expert, and I gave up on that in about 2 weeks.
It is so hard. There's just,
it's
come across so much of it. I listen to a podcast, and I love it, but I'm like, I can't apply all of this. There's just too much.
I've said it, there's certain, like stamps, baseball cards, coins. It's just like, eh.
Yeah.
You got to really immerse yourself in it, or anyway. Okay. Hey, look, let's just do these two bits of shelf paper. Now, there's going to be some other shelf paper coming up a little bit later. This sort of, I'm going to say plaid. I know I will be corrected because sort of a generic person like me says plaid, but I know the Scotch tartan people will. So You can teach me. You can absolutely
It's
tell me.
bad. All right, what's the start?
But these, let me go solo, and I'll tell you that on these, just these two, it will be $10 for these two. Now on these, I unfolded them, and they were 117 inches. Well, that's 9 inches there, but there are. When I multiplied all of the folds, I got 117 inches, and you can divide by 12 and figure out how many feet that would be. The main thing is that's pretty down there.
Roxanne starting you off at 10.
Flowers. So obviously this top page, which is exposed, is dirty, but you don't see that because that's on the shelf, and that gets folded down like that, as you know. Just in case a person doesn't know, there's no sticky here. This is before the sticky. So you just unfold as much as you want, cut it, lay it flat on your shelves, and then you fold over the decorative edge. You old timers know this, but young folks watching might not know that this is before the adhesive, so there's no adhesive to it. So you tell me what those blossoms are.
Philip says they're magnolias, and Bonnie has bumped you up to 15. And I agree with Philip. I would say the magnolias as well.
Magnolia. And these were made by the...
KP is asking if the paper itself has a coating. It's not adhesive, but is it plasticized or is it just paper?
This part is just paper. This part has a glossy... I mean, I don't know what...
You can see the light shining off the yellow.
Yeah. So this part is ribbed and actually sort of applied on top. So this was something separate that was applied to this. This is thicker and a little shinier, a little heftier. But you can see on the back that this is the base. And then whatever that was, it was applied, it was glued or adhered to the front. So there's a little bit of, this is just a little heftier on the front. I don't really know how to describe that, but. So you would unfold it and then cut it out so that it would fit however you want it to fit. Obviously on cabinets with glass, look nice with glass fronts, right? All right.
Or that open shelving look that just has
that kind of thing. Thank you, Patrick. Appreciate that. So I guess we'll count it down. Ready? 10, 9, 8. You get both of them. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. That's it for these two bits of shelf paper. There's a lot. That would do a couple Hoosier cabinets easily. That's a lot of shelf paper.
All right, watch for the lag. Oh, looks like some people are sneaking in at the end. Let me refresh.
These are coming up.
All right, it looks like Briar Lee snuck in at 22 just before the stop.
Briar Lee, thank you so much. I appreciate that. We'll take it back to Patrick. And remember, I've got some more shelf paper coming up in a minute. Thank you, everyone. Thanks, everyone who placed bids on that. I do appreciate that. Patrick, your turn.
All right. I am now going to another set of ephemera. This is a start of $18. And I showed this when I picked it up. So I'm going to kind of juggle this a little bit, but I want to go through it quickly. What this is, you can see from the front of this was a mechanical drawing project that was submitted by Jim Goodwin in 1938 at Elgin High School in Elgin, Illinois. He received an A- on this project. So this page all by itself would make it a fantastic something to frame, because just look at those modern drawings. We're well past Deco. We haven't entered the war yet. So we've just got that fantastic rounded lettering. But what these are as it says, mechanical drawings. Some of them are easier to see than others. So I'm going to do the best I can to show you. Some of them are done in pencil, so they're very light. That was not showing up particularly well. Oh, KP's grandfather graduated Elgin. My daughter went to Elgin Academy, private school, also in Elgin. You can see some of them are done a little bit darker, so they're a little bit easier to see. They are all individual drawings of objects, whatever the project required specifically to pass this. And every one of them has who drew it, Jim Goodwin, who it was approved by, and this drawing got a B. Kind of hard to see on that one. But sometimes what happens is the instructor wrote, so there's a check mark next to one of those lines. So he didn't include the number for that distance. So these are graded projects. And that is the fact that this survived intact is absolutely fantastic. This one got an A. So some drawing, some sort of a fitting or something. There is a set of them. This one would look amazing framed. It's on the traditional blueprint paper. That's just super cool. There's a set of them in here on the onion paper, like that really lightweight translucent paper. Of course, I can't find it. Here we go. There's multiple versions of this. I'll just hopefully you can see it this way. There's multiple versions of this shot. So it's like this, it's a piston. And that one, those didn't get grades because those were the production sheets. So the drawing is in here too, but this is, so there's like 4 or 5 of those. So each of those we framed. So it's one of those cases I could have torn this apart and framed each of these individually and made a lot more money. I just hated to do that.
That's called integrity.
Yeah, it's a project, and it's like a work in and of itself. This is where he was practicing some of his writing, practicing circles, things that he wasn't being graded on. That got saved. There's a sheet in here somewhere where he was practicing how to print his name. So as he sketched his name, I got upside down. Some of the lettering that he used. It's like all these practice sheets that just all got kept together. And the person I bought it from, because we know it was done in 1938, we know it was done for Elgin High School, we know the guy's name, did the legwork to figure out, there he is. These are the seniors of 1941 from the Elgin High School book. And there's James Goodwin, second from the end. Mr. Goodwin. So this is his. So probably got picked up at an estate sale or something like that. That passed in 2005. So it's probably just sitting in his house. Thank you, Mary Beth, for doing that research for me. And so it just got stacked together. Somehow it kept staying together. It went from reseller to reseller, and I picked it up. So offering it here. I don't see any bids on it, which disappoints me a little bit, but I understand. It's not everyone's going to know what to do with it. So I might try. I hate to put it in my booth because even though my booth is near Elgin, I'm a feeling that these will get damaged. So I've got to figure out the best way to sell this, maybe on eBay, but it's hard to sell stuff that doesn't have brands or something easy for a search engine. The start
hold on for a second.
The start was 18. I think I put that in.
Okay, you do have a bid.
Oh, I do have a bid.
You did. So talk about it a little bit more, then count it down, and we'll.
Yeah. So I'll give you the information on him, and then so we've got again multiple sheets. Some of them he never filled in. I think they were like the blank sheets to fill in. So some of these don't have anything on them, but you get the practice sheets. They are clipped together. As I was pulling this out, one of the brads fell out, but I will include it. You can see the class project part was hole punched. Wait a minute. So some of these, like the extra pages, are separate. But you can see it's hole punched. So there's a brad that's still in this one. I'll put the brad back in this one. So you get a fairly thick set of drawings, including those awesome the reprints on the blueprint paper. I mean, that's one of my favorites. I mean, you put that on just a simple mat in a black frame, that would look fantastic in any contemporary home. And if you keep the whole thing and just frame a couple pieces, you're still keeping the integrity of Mr. Goodwin's work. So we're going to go ahead and count this down. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and stop. And thank you for saying that, Karen, too, that someone is going to be adopting it. Because again, that's what we talked about at the beginning. I just like stuff to go to the right home, somebody who can appreciate it. I can't appreciate this. I love ephemera. That's why I picked it up. But this is a perfect example of something. If I didn't pick this up, I was concerned this would get destroyed.
Yeah.
Because it's loose. Some of the pages are going to get torn. They're going to get folded. It might get broken up. And if it gets broken up later, hey, I at least did my part to steward it. So I see. Who do you see, Scott?
I see Amy Rugala at 20.
Okay. That's who I see as well. So thank you, Amy, for giving this a good home.
It's about 20 minutes to 10. We keep dancing between like $2.99 and $305, folks. Before it gets away from us, once again, thank you everyone for joining us tonight. I hope you're having as much fun as Patrick and I are. We're just glad you're here tonight, and don't want to forget to say that. Okay, more shelf paper. Now, hang in there because I've got 4 of these. Boy, that's enough to paper 8 kitchens. So I'll tell you what we'll do. Got 4 of them. I'm going to sell these a little bit differently. And please educate me. I'm just saying generic plaid, but
I'm good with plaid.
You're good with plaid. I'm sure I'm not, that they're more technical than that.
I have Scotch in my heritage, but I would not know the tartans.
I don't know. But here's what I'll do. Before I tell you the price and how I'm going to do it, let me give you the size again. That is 9 inches. I unfolded these and I got 13 panels. So in my pea brain, 9 times 13 is 117 inches. Divide that by 12 and you get how many feet. I didn't do that part, but so what I'll do with all of these is I'll go ahead and throw out that the high bidder will claim as many of them as they want. We're going to start at $5 now. Listen, because don't bid $20 because that's way too much to pay. $5 each, right? So the high bidder can say, I want 1, 2, 3, 4, right? We're starting at $5. I always make it more confusing. So, but you get what I said. Right.
An opening bid.
The opening bid is $5.
And Suzanne's starting you off at 5.
So in other words, if Suzanne is the high bidder and she wants all of them, she gets them for $20. In good condition. No water damage. And this one is marked. Well, they're all marked. There's ink. And I wish it says genuine royal edge. It doesn't tell where it was made, but it says trademark, patented, USA, made in USA, blah, blah, blah. And then parenthetically, it says, feel the double edge.
So okay. Suzanne has it up to $12 for 1. So again, the bid for 1.
Yeah. They want me to feel the doubled edge. I guess they mean, I don't know what they want me to do, but that's what they want me to do. They want me to feel the doubled edge. So the high bid right now is 12, and that would be for 1 ream of 117 inches. I don't like math. I shouldn't say that. I was never particularly good at it. I shouldn't say I don't like it, but I wasn't particularly good at it. Let's go ahead and count it down. 10. Remember to be, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So that would be
watching for the lag. And we've got the stop, goes in. So Suzanne is the highest. And so she needs to answer your question if you want. Does Suzanne, would you like 1, 2, 3, or 4? And then what? Go to the next highest bidder to sell at the same price?
I'm not to sell at the same price.
Yeah. So it would still be, so then behind her is Roxanne. So then if Suzanne does not take all 4 of them, Roxanne, you'll have a chance. So Suzanne would like 2 of them at $12.
Give me one moment, please. Okay, so Suzanne bid $12.
Correct.
And she wants 2 of them. And what
2
is
of them at $12 each.
So that's 24. Suzanne, what is Suzanne? Is it just Suzanne?
Suzanne B as in boy.
Suzanne B. You'll get 2 of them at $12 each. And did our second runner
The second highest bidder was Roxanne Sawade. So Roxanne, you have the option to pick up 1 or 2 more, also at $12 though. You stopped at 10, but it would be 12.
So that's your choice.
And so Roxanne's going to take 1, but it would be at $12, Roxanne. It would not be at the 10. I know you stopped at 10, but it would be at the bidding price of 12. So do you still want 1 at 12? Otherwise, we will go to the next person, which was Cindy Harvey. And Cindy, you'll have access to at least 1, if not 2, depending on what Roxanne says, at $12 each. And if they both, so Roxanne is saying no, she does not want them at 12. So Cindy, you are the next highest bidder. It would be $12 if you would like 1 or 2. And if she doesn't take both, Bonnie Abrams would be the next one who could get them at $12. So Cindy Harvey, would you like 1 or 2 or none? If you could let us know.
And then we can go.
And then there's still 1 underbidder left. Oh no, there's not. Bonnie Abrams would be the last person.
Okay, we'll go.
So Cindy's taking 1.
Cindy Harvey is taking
1 at $12.
12.
So that leaves Bonnie Abrams if you would like the last one for $12. Or if you would say no, if you would like to pass, but you were the only other bidder.
Thanks for indulging.
Bonnie Abrams says yes. You sold all 4.
So Bonnie gets 1 at 12. Thank you, everyone. I know that can get cumbersome, but thanks for hanging in there while we plowed through that. And thank you for your assistance, Patrick.
Of course.
And I'm writing Bonnie Patrick instead of Bonnie.
Nope, I didn't get one.
Does your Bonnie lie over the ocean? How do I make you?
You can do it. We believe in you. No, you made yourself big.
It's the pictures that got small, Patrick.
I'm ready for my close-up, Mr. DeMille.
And you just got it.
All right. So this is a $20 start. Going to lean toward my industrial lovers out there. For if you like industrial display, we've got a wooden box, hinged box of Grandpa's Wonder Soap. Small size, half box, 50 bars, the Beaver Soap Company, Dayton, Ohio. Now, I'm going to be perfectly honest with this. I don't believe this is as old as it is trying to be. This looks like it's something from the 30s. I don't think the box is that old. So I think this is something that was created to create this effect. I could be wrong. It could be older. So I'll show you the box in a second. But I'm going to be very upfront with this. I still think there's age, like it's probably like 70s or 80s, but just the condition of the box and its construction does not make me think it's as old as this advertisement's trying to be. But regardless, it is a very cool piece. You can see it's in wonderful condition. I'm not good with my woods. It's heavy. I think it's walnut. It's definitely got a walnut colored finish. You get the advertisement on the front and on the inside. So it's like it's trying to be a display piece. But inside, you also get a bar of Grandpa's Wonder soap. But the graphics on this they're far too simple. I think this is just a recreation, a fantasy piece. You also get a somewhat problematic image of Sudsea soap. It says it won't shrink your flannels. It does say the Beaver Soap Company from Dayton, Ohio. So this one actually seems to have more significance to it. But it does. Oh, it says right on there, reproduction of turn-of-century nickel soap cakes. Oh, there we go. Copyright 2000. I missed that. All right, so this is not as old. So 2000. And then another bar of witch soap. So we are recreating a look. But does not change the fact, you also get a little pad to put this on. Does not change the fact you actually have a very cool functional box with that industrial look. So you've got Grandpa's Wonder soap, nicely done with a nice hinge. This was the part that gave it away. It's like a chipboard bottom. So that was where I'm like, I don't think they would have made them that way back in the day. So if I just investigated the soap a little bit better, I would have noticed that. But it doesn't change the fact that I have left vintage stores or antique stores that became lifestyle centers because it started mixing old with new. And that's why I get somewhat concerned. So I always like to be very honest. If something looks old and it's not, doesn't mean you don't want it. Doesn't mean it's not going to look great in your place. You just need to know what you're paying for, because this, if it were from the 30s, would be worth a heck of a lot more money. So I appreciate the bidding that you got up there. Hopefully I got all that out and nobody wants to change their offers, because I see Jamie's got us up to 25.
Mm-hmm.
Cool piece. Not super, super heavy, but definitely gonna be a couple of pounds. But again, I'm shipping from Chicago, so it's typically not horrible to ship these out. So we're going to go ahead and count it down. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and stop. Watch for the delay, and I'll watch for Scott's stop. All right. Looks like Melody tried to sneak in. Do you see her before or after the stop?
Let me go back to live chat. I see Melody Southern Buckeye at $28 just after the stop. So
Okay.
it would be Jamie Grafton at 25.
Yep. Sorry, Melody, you tried. But yeah, I see you. I see her right after the stop as well. And Jamie, you did bid above, but you didn't need to because you were in there before the stop at 25. Thank you. Back to you, Scott.
Patrick, how many more items do you have?
I have more than I could possibly show. So we can stop at 9, or we can stop at the top of the hour, or whenever you're ready to go.
Well, I'll tell you what. I've got one more item to show. We still have over 300 folks. After I try to sell my last item, we can keep going, Patrick, because I have half a gallon of Wawa iced tea right here, and I can just put solo on you and just sit back in my rocker and let it roll. So if you're still want to sell and you got some stuff and folks are interested, we'll keep it rolling.
We'll see what happens at the top of the hour. So.
As long as you'd like to. Okay.
Yes.
So audience participation, we love it. Now listen. Ooh, wait a minute. I don't know. Do we have any old-fashioned 1960s people here? $20, where we'll start. This is my last item.
Be careful with the reference of old-fashioned and 60s. You're getting old, so you're referring to yourself at that point.
Of course I am.
I'm clinging just past it.
Yes. What year were you born?
I'm born in 1970.
1970. Okay. Okay. Well, And I would have been a senior in high school picking on you as a freshman. I didn't pick on anybody in high school. I did not, except for this one girl in the band that was a flute player. She and I didn't. That's a whole.
No, those flautists are always a problem.
Ooh. We actually ended up going to the senior prom together. That's a true story. Look at the box. Did anybody have this in the 60s? Come on now. What is it called? It's the Navy blinker light code. Oh, there's just too much on there for me to read. Let's go all the way. It's not just the box, cats and kittens. It's in there. Like they used to say on the Prego spaghetti commercials. You get the instructions. Can you imagine? The little boy across the street, they learn Morse code and they, talk about things at night from the window in the 60s. So here's the instructions. See that? Now I know you're all saying, does it work? Does it work? Does it work? Well, hold on. They're in there. The plastic isn't cracked. There's nothing missing. They're not corroded. Let's pull one out. Look, you can hold it by the leather handle and look. All right, now we twist this. Light bulb. Pull that out. And what do you insert? A D flashlight battery. I have one and it's dead. I couldn't test it. No reason why these wouldn't work. They're beautifully preserved, clean on the inside. The light bulb is in, everything on this. If it was played with, that little boy or girl took very good care. But this would have been meant for boys. You know how it was back then. So let me turn that just right, and that will click open and shut. And then here's the other one.
Back in the day, fine starting you at 20.
Put that on upside down. There we go. So look, back in the day, you can learn Morse code, and your loved one can be inside at the kitchen window going, and you can be out in the backyard going, now, I don't know what you're saying to each other because that's none of my business, but wouldn't that be fun?
Those are too awesome.
And they have little, is that a compass?
That should be a compass.
All right. So there's the inside of the box. I imagine, I don't know if this would be Korean War era or Vietnamese, oh, you know what I'm trying to say, or the because there's no date on it, but clearly, okay, I think I've rambled too much, didn't I?
Well, you've got a bid.
But we're going to give Patrick the rest of the night. So this really looks 60s or late 50s. I don't know. Yeah, that's a little 60s thing right there, isn't it? That little, where is he?
I would say yes.
Yeah, that's a little 60s thing. Okay, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. That's it. And that really is it. Because we're going to give Patrick the flow. If you guys want to hang around, we'll let it run. We'll let it rip.
All right, there's just another lag, and looks like Patsy tried to come in. And let me refresh.
Ooh.
And yep, it looks like she snuck in right before the stop. So Patsy M picks it up for $32.
That is Patsy M. Patsy, do you have grandchildren or little neighbor children or just children that are going to play with that? Or are you going to play with it?
Never know what kind of people you can mess up. Just, going along the highway, catch a trucker to see if you can get some messages out to them.
Hey, I would, annoy your neighbors.
All right. For the last planned item, I'm going to show a pair of table runners. And then I will show really quick, because a comment was made that I should show what I showed in my preview. But I'll just kind of list them really quickly and then see if anyone is interested. So I'm not dragging everyone else's time. But to start with, these are, you get a pair of table runners, and it's a $15 start. So I put that in really quick. So there's a $15 start for the pair. And again, it's more embroidery. So this is a match set. They're 36, so 3 feet long and 17 inches wide. The bulk of the design is here on the end. Somebody was talking about getting you a book of botany so we could recognize our flowers. Yeah. I'm not sure what that one is. I think it's a chrysanthemum. I don't think it's a lotus. It's not a rose. But actually, those are lilies. So what grows in a lily? Rajiv, what grows in a lily?
What grows in a lily?
Yeah, what kind of flowers grow in a lily?
A lily pad, a lotus.
A water lily.
A water lily.
Or a lotus. Okay,
a lotus.
So maybe it is a lotus.
Nenufar in Sanskrit.
Okay, now Rajiv is just showing off. So he just got here, so we won't stay on for too late because I want to be respectful of his time and the channels. But that, so lily pad flowers, water lilies, or possible lotuses. Done in the yellow, you've got the blue accents, but then you can see the green leaves. On the back, stitching wise, it's very, very clean. There's a couple places that it's a little bit jumbled, but I want to say these are machine done, because the way that leaf is done here with that weird stitching part, that I think was done by a machine. So these are not hand stitched. Great trim on the edge. Nice little like lace edge, crocheted edge going into the hem stitch all the way around with a lovely scallop. So these are an absolutely matched set. These would look fantastic on, they would be considered dresser scarves, table runners. If you've got a set of matched nightstands, these would look fantastic, one on each of them, because it's rare that you keep things in as a pair. So it's fantastic to have a matched set of these that have stayed together. And hopefully they do stay together if they get picked up in the sale. At this point, I don't see any bids on it, but in case we've got a lot of people doing the sniping, so I will just go ahead and do a countdown if anyone wants to try and pick it up. Start is $15, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and stop. And I see Philip Lane came in at 15. We'll see if anyone else tries to sneak in before the end. It was the first that I see.
Okay.
And that's what I see.
That's what I see.
All right. Thank you so much, Philip, for picking up the pair. I think you picked up one of my linens the last time, so I appreciate that you're giving linens a good home. So I hope you enjoy these and can give good use to them. So really quick, I'm just going to showcase a couple things. If anyone wants me to run them, let me know. Otherwise, I'll save them for another sale. So this was the Hindu Rose sheet music, the Oriental Vamp. If you want to learn the sheet music, that's fine. That's fine. Let's see I don't know if it says what key this is in or if it really matters. But it is 2 sharps. So I don't know what key that puts it in, but it's all about the artwork. So you've got this absolutely gorgeous lime green with the purple. There's a very tiny tear down here, but in a frame, you would not see that. So F. Fairweather is asking me to run this. So this is a $5 start. So we're going to start at 5. And we're going to do this really quick. So we're going to zip through some of these. So yeah, so this is all about the artwork. Just check out the image in the back. I don't think she's Hindu. We'll just kind of put that out there. Culturally, we think we might be appropriating some things here, but it's got a fantastic image. It's there was a copyright on this. I forgot to mention it's 19. Oh, we get to test our Roman numerals. 1919. So 1919. So we're at the end of Art Nouveau. We haven't quite gone into the Deco era. So you've just got that sinewy fabric going around. So we've got Fairweather at 7. I'm going to go ahead and count it down. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and stop. If Scott can still watch the stop, I will watch for that.
I am, and while I'm watching for the stop, and I will put the stop in as soon as I see it. Okay, oops. Well, my computer, okay, it's in there. I need to answer Patsy McCarthy's question, but let's look and see. Top chat, live chat.
So F Fairweather, you outbid yourself, so you'll get it for the
Right.
original 7.
At
So
7.
you're trying to protect yourself, so congratulations. And also Trendolin, you might be in a little bit of a lag because by the time you asked me to run the sheet music, I had already counted it down. So go ahead and do a refresh, and you'll be able to you'll be closer to getting. So I apologize. It looks like you're bidding on the music, so I apologize if you've missed out on that. So just make sure. It's always good to keep refreshing because there will be lags. I do have some additional ephemera. I have this stack of McClure's magazine. This is like 3 pounds of magazines because they don't make magazines like this anymore. You get all 3, the November 1911 issue, this one doesn't have it on the front. I looked it up before and I forgot. I didn't write it down. It's the Chalmers 1914 advertisement. So this is like a 1913 or 1914 ad magazine. So you get that one. And then I threw in this third one because the cover has been lost on it. But it's still got all of its pages. So this one is from, should have written these down. I looked it up before. This whole section of advertising. These are also for like 1907. This one's actually from 1907. So these all have fantastic articles. They're primarily literature magazines. Eleanor's House by Willa Sibbert Cather. So Willa Cather, wrote an article or wrote a story for the magazine. There's a couple color illustrations. Again, I've talked about this before. Magazines like this would print artwork inside because then if you bought the magazine, you could cut out the ads, frame them, and you have your own art that you could hang on the wall. Check out these illustrations of the fashions. Again, these are 1907. So the bustles, it's trying to get away. I'm sorry. Thank you, KP. This was a $15 start. So if you want me to run it, it's a $15 start. So if somebody's asking me to run them, I went and put the start in there. That's a $15 start. I also have the holiday magazines. These are 1946. So this is just after the war. Where do you want to go for travel? Let's go to war-torn Europe. So we can do that. So we did start the McClure's at 15. KP's got 15. Ziggy is at up to 17. I'll go ahead and start skimming through, again, some of the ads. And you can see a lot of articles, a lot of stories, but a lot of the articles are illustrated. So you've got some great artwork going through them. The ads primarily are at the front and the back. Look at that full page illustration. The Amateur Detective got this great drawing illustration that goes with that. Pop back to some of these ads. I mean, these ads are fantastic. Liebig Company's extract of beef. Okay, she's blindfolded eating the extract of beef. I can tell Liebig blindfold by its delicious flavor.
Oh, I've done that before.
Prophylactic toothbrush. That was a company's name. The company's name was Prophylactic. So some of these are just fun to go through. And again, when it comes to magazines, I hate to recommend things get torn up, but they need to have an ongoing life. And in some cases, keeping these advertisements together and framing them and giving them their own life is just as important as protecting the magazine. So I've got a couple of people going in for these. I'm going to go ahead and count them down. Oh, Philip saying Willa Cather edited McClure's. That I have no idea, but she at least wrote the article. Check out the ad for the Pierce Aero car on the back. I mean, I wish they made cars like that. I would totally drive that. So all early, these were all pre-World War I ads. This is the 1911. Really quick, while I'm counting it down. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and stop. So these, I'm so glad this chunk is of weight of doorstop is going to go to a new home, and we shall see, is it going to be KP or is it going to be Ziggy?
It looks like Ziggy.
All right, congratulations, Ziggy. Not sure I've sold to you before, so if you can just make sure you send me your shipping information, I will get you an invoice for those at $22. So congratulations. Holiday magazines were next. Oh, did you need to come back, Scott?
No, I didn't know.
I have 2 more things I was going to show if anyone wants me to run them.
Here we go.
So a pair of holiday magazines. These would be a $10 start for both of these. They're both from 1946, August and September. And again, this is all about the ads. A lot of them are going to be in color. A lot of, and also this one, the articles will be pretty interesting too, because you figure the war ended in 1945. This issue would have been published less than 8 months later, because it's going to be printed before the date on the magazine. Okay, Adam's starting it at $10. So we have a $10 start. Adam's got it started. So you get both magazines. It's not a choice. You get them both. So you get the September 1946 issue with the Artcraft Stockings of Elegance ad on the back, because everyone lies on their floor like that, showing off their heels and their stockings. And then the other one is the August 1946 issue. Great graphics on the front, but even better, the Studebaker ad on the back. Check out the turquoise Studebaker. First by far with a post-war car. If anyone's ever seen the movie Tucker, there's some fantastic stuff about, what was the number one thing people wanted to buy once the war was over? They wanted to buy a car. So there are tons of car ads in here because that's what people wanted. They couldn't buy, the metal was restricted during the war for wartime efforts. So people wanted to get a car. And the Tucker wanted to give them a car that looked different. So just check out, all of these articles are illustrated just like a good travel magazine. This one covers a little bit of America, but it also was covering Europe as well. There was an article when I previewed them before, there's an article about a Frenchman coming to the United States. Sopranos and Soda Pop. I don't know what that's about. A new rainbow in sportswear colors. So you got fashion ads. I'm gonna go ahead and count these down. Looks like I've just got Adam right now. We're going to count down. You're going to get both of these for one price. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and stop. And that's for the pair of holiday magazines. Yes, that's finished. So Adam picks those up for $10, and yes, that is a deal. So congratulations, Adam, for getting those magazines. And the only other item I had, if there are any jewelry aficionados.
Apologize for the rumble. I'm broadcasting from my front porch, and a motorcycle just went by.
This is a $10 start. If anyone is interested, this is a rhinestone and black glass stone necklace with entirely rhinestoned chain with a hook clasp that simply hooks across the rhinestones. So this is a $10 start for the necklace. And measure it really quick. Length, it is a choker, and it is going to be 14 inches in length. Thank you, Ziggy. So that's a $10 start if anyone wants me to run that. And then for those who joined late, we have the Kleenex box haunted doll head Kleenex dispenser. And that was a $20 start. And that's it. So appreciate you letting me rerun or letting me finish those running things. I figured I wouldn't be able to get through all of them, but for anyone who stuck around, I hope you enjoyed them.
Okay, I put that stop in there. I didn't know if we had anything going on.
Yeah. So technically, oh wait, Trendolin is bidding on something. Oh, run the head. All right, I can run the head. Happy to get the haunted head out of my house. So we are going to run this really quick, and we're going to do a really quick countdown. $20 from Trendolin, $20 start. This is literally holds a square. I had it in there earlier. Holds a square size Kleenex box. Going to go ahead and count it down. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and stop. So the haunted head looks like it's going to go to Trendol. Did I say that right? Trendolin.
Mm-hmm.
Halsey, you're new to me, so if you could just make sure you send me an email to the email address, you pick up Haunted Head Girl for $20. Thank you so much. All right, back to Scott.
That's it.
Thanks for everyone for joining us. And we lost some people, that did not stick around, and I do not take offense to that. But we appreciate the time that everyone does give us. We realize your time is valuable, but we have fun. I love spending time with Scott. I always learn stuff from him tonight. Hopefully he learned something from me, and we have fun.
Thanks, Patrick. We will be back, 4 weeks?
Yeah.
4 weeks, okay. So until then, stay tuned to both channels, because, you never know what you're going to see. That's it for now. I'm Scott from the Old Curiosity Shop.
And I'm Patrick. And I told Raj he could say hi. So come here, Raj. Say hi. Some people met Raj when I was with Scott last time.
There you guys. Hi, Scott.
This is Rajiv. So.
Bye from him.
Bye, everybody. Thanks for spending time with us. And thanks again for hosting me, Scott. And I look forward to doing this again next month.
That's it. All right. Good night, everyone. Thanks, folks. Bye-bye.
Bye, everybody.
There's a gnat in here.
That's what you get for being on your porch.
You got that.